Hello, Rule Breakers Club. Courtney Johnston here, and today we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and I want to talk to you about selling. So I'm like getting really passionate, fiery about something, and it's kind of going in a few different directions, but I'm seeing how it's also merging together. So bear with me here as I try to piece this together. I've noticed a trend in the female entrepreneurship space lately. And hi, everybody who's joining me. Please make sure to say hello in the comments as soon as you can. I love these live broadcasts to be a conversation, not just me like blurbing and being a talking head, though I'm happy to do that as well. So I've noticed this trend in the women entrepreneurship space. And the trend that I'm noticing is a lot of people and wonderful people, wonderful souls, people doing wonderful things. Hi, Laura, how are you? And they have beautiful branding, and they're all about the social media, and they want to help people, and they want to give, and they want to give, and they want to be creative, and they want to create a life that they love. Anybody resonating with this who's here? Anybody feel like they're in that space of, I just want to do good work and have a comfortable life and make a living with my business, and I want it to be beautiful, and I want my business to express who I am, and you have this vision of what that looks like. And the problem that I'm noticing is a trend here, and I'm getting chills, which is my sign for this is serious. This is on track. You're not making any money. It is making me pissed off because I feel like I thought a couple years ago the beautiful branding stuff, which is awesome and great and wonderful, but I thought that people would start to realize that that means nothing if you don't have the foundation of a money-making operation. You have specific offers that were specifically crafted for your market. You know how to sell yourself. You feel comfortable selling what you do because you understand your packaging, you have a strategy, etc. And what I'm noticing is it's actually gotten worse. We actually have the more superficial platforms, which again, I'm not trying to demonize Instagram or Pinterest. I love those platforms, but that kind of like pretty facade, the beautiful website, the beautiful branding, the beautiful Instagram is becoming what people are focusing their attention on, believing that that is the business. And none of those things are a business. Your website is not a business. Your Instagram is not a business. Your Pinterest is not a business. Your blog is not a business. Those are all marketing materials for a business. So none of these things that are sexy and wonderful are actually bringing in money. And yet it's the things that are sexy and everybody wants to do because it looks nice and it appears beautiful. And I'm just as susceptible to this as everybody else. It's just that I also have the other side. And I find that a lot of people and people who have thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, and you might not even have 1,000 subscribers, and that's fine, or followers on Instagram or whatever, oftentimes are not making any money. And so what I want to talk about today is selling yourself. I find that there's a few pieces here. There's the piece of actually packaging your offers and creating offers that people want, and that's huge. That might be the hugest piece. And I talk about that a lot on my blog. I have a whole course on that called EA for Clients, and we can go into that another time, and I will go into that another time. But what I want to talk about today is this fear that we as women have about selling what we do, because the way selling has been done for so long is the horrible, uncomfortable, pushy, masculine way of selling. Yesterday, I watched the film The Founder, which is all about Ray Kroc, who basically turned McDonald's into what McDonald's is today. So I don't know if anybody's seen the movie. It's interesting. There's tons of movies about men in business, Wolf of Wall Street, like all kinds of movies about men in business. And these men do horrible, horrible things and take advantage of people, sell people out, ruin people's lives. None of it is in a way that any of us want to do business. And yet this is what's glorified as the American dream. The film didn't really demonize Ray Kroc, and nor would I demonize Ray Kroc. I still think he did a lot of things that I admire, yet he was also someone I in no way think any of my values align with. Wolf of Wall Street. People love that movie. There's something really sexy about this person who's just as willing to like step on anybody to make money and ruin people's lives. And yet that's not how we want to do business. And we have this model, like that's what you have to do in order to be successful, is you have to step all over people, take advantage of them, lie to them, manipulate them, get lawyers involved, do crazy things. So what I want to talk about today is that you don't have to do that. I posted on my Facebook personal page a question earlier this week asking people what their last negative sales interaction was. And I'm going to ask you guys the same question. So anyone watching, Instagram, Facebook, I would love for you to type in, what was the last, just anything that comes to your head. It could be somebody's blog you subscribed to and they started selling you too fast, or I don't know, something that happened to you outside of the online business space. What is the last negative interaction that you had around sales? Somebody selling something to you that left a less than desirable taste in your mouth. So while you guys type those in, I'm going to let you know a couple of them that people told me. So I had Jenny told me that she had someone say on a sales call, if you were serious about your business, you would beg, borrow, or steal the money to make the investment in me. You wouldn't have to think about it or talk to your wife. What's with the hesitation? I had the same thing happen to me recently, not the same language, but it was pretty much like a free consult that I knew was going to be a sales call because I could see the whole business model. So I knew it was going to happen, but I was shocked at what extent it happened. That the person said, are there any other decision makers in your business? I said, no, I mean, I run the business. I'm the owner of the business. And then when she's selling me on this coaching program that was like $10,000, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't buy a $10,000 coaching program without sitting on it for a good bit and talking to people who I trust. And she's like, well, that's why I asked you if there were any other decision makers in your business, and you said no. And now I realize that there are. Like she like scolded me for lying to her. So this is another thing people do. I want to go through this pretty fast because I want to summarize these into a few different categories. The next one I have is getting messages from old friends saying, hey, how are you? It's been so long. We should catch up. By the way, I now sell blah, 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 and think it would be great for you. So friends not knowing how to properly do network marketing and the whole MLM thing that could be fine, but people abuse the hell out of it. We have one that says, being stopped in the street as you're going about your day is the worst. Head down, earphones in, make mental note to avoid the street on the way home. You know the kind. I agree. And I know a lot of those people are charities, but I just do not like people interrupting me in the course of my day. I don't find that to be, that's interruption marketing. It's like throwing commercials on TV. I don't want you to interrupt me in the course of my day. A door-to-door salesman. I hate people coming to my door. Like, do not bother me in my private residence. That, like, I need you to go away. I'm trying to see. One woman said, all of the time, if I feel like I'm being sold to, I shut down. So even just feeling like I'm being sold to, I shut down. Jess says, yeah, MLMs are one of the times when I've experienced negative experiences the most. So I agree. I think that they could be done well, but the way that they train is the opposite of how I would ever advise someone of doing a business. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of those companies make their money, because it's all about the bottom line to them, not about the product or the customers. We have a couple more. Ooh, I find that when a person is offering a free business coaching session, they barely listen to me, nor truly offer me anything. They only wait for the moment. They may pitch the sale. Yuck, definitely a turnoff. Let's see if there's any more. Oh, I had another one from Sarah Morgan, who runs the website exosarah.com. If you don't know her website, you need to go visit it. Sarah said, and she just posted this one recently, I ended up in an email sequence which pointed me to a Facebook group which I joined. The group had a few recent questions from members on totally random topics, no answers from anyone, and the recent posts from the host were 2 promos for a webinar. So again, there's no value but selling. That's really what it comes down to, right? The next day they email pitching a related course. I couldn't leave the group, delete and unsubscribe fast enough. So these are the kinds of things that are happening that are really turning people off. And Connie says, love the easel word. You get it. Amazon, everything on Amazon to answer your question. Okay, so, and I'm selling you on Amazon. Does it feel icky? So I would also love to know, are there any positive sales experiences that you've had recently? What's something you purchased recently and you felt like that was a really positive experience? I don't have, like, maybe it wasn't perfect, but I don't have any like negative feelings about it. And you can type those in as well. What I want to do right now is go over what it comes down to is there's 3 mistakes these people are making. There's 3 reasons why we feel disgusted by certain types of selling. And the reason I want to go over these ick factor items today, these 3 ick factors, is because I want to show you that, hey, Kayla, I want to show you that you are not doing that, which means you're not going to make people feel that way. Because I think a lot of us feel like we don't know if we're icky or not when we sell. Like, just the idea of selling ourselves feels icky. And so how do I know if I'm being icky or not? Well, I'm going to tell you, these are the 3 signs that you're turning people off when you're selling. And you're probably not doing these things, but I want you to write these down because there are tendencies we might have because we might not realize that they're the ick factors. So please get out your pens. Thank you, Connie. She says, loving this live. First time I'm seeing you. Awesome. So get out your pens and write down these 3 ick factors. Are you ready? So ick factor number 1 is coming on too strong and too fast. So number 1 is coming on too strong and too fast. And let me go into that one a little bit. So coming on too strong, too fast is when you ask before you give enough. You ask before you give enough. So this is the one that Sarah mentioned of joining an email list and not seeing any value being provided, but just getting pitched to immediately. This is the one of, God, what were some of the other? Oh, being on a call, a consult, and not giving value for the free consult, but just pitching, just getting into the sale too fast. This is when you haven't built up that know, like, and trust factor with somebody and you're trying to sell them. So you've got to build that relationship. If you have the launch copy kit, you know that I talk extensively about this. So the launch copy kit is broken down into the 3 phases of launching, which are attract, amaze, and ask. Okay, so I'm just going to give you the brief overview just in case you don't have that. Attract is when this person finds you, right? The person finds your email list, they sign up. The amaze phase is when you build that relationship with them. So you're actually nurturing that relationship. You're building that relationship over time. Think about it as dating. If you went on a first date with someone and asked them to move in with you, they would run away screaming, just like Sarah did from that email list. So you've got to date for a little bit. Now, some people date for a few weeks, months, some for many years. But the point is that you have to nurture that relationship before taking it to that next level. You have to make sure that the relationship is ready for that next level, that that person knows, likes, and trusts you enough for the commitment that you're asking from them. And then the final phase is ask. So that's when you're actually asking for the sale. So the first mistake is skipping the amaze phase. It's coming on too hard, too fast. It's not nurturing a relationship, not giving value. So how can you avoid that? Does anyone have any ideas for how you could avoid skipping the nurturing phase? So in other words, what are some ways you could nurture your audience? You guys can type them in. I'll give you a few while you're waiting, or while I'm waiting, or you're waiting, or someone's waiting. So the first one is making sure that you have regular content going out in some kind of capacity. So if you don't have a website yet, you could be building your newsletter and you could, or your email list, and you could have an opt-in offer going to your email list, and you can deliver an email every week like a blog post, but you're just doing it through email if you don't have a website yet. In fact, it's what I recommend in Yay for Clients. This is what I teach people to do. I'm like, screw the website. You don't need a website yet. You're wasting your time and energy on that if you don't have a business yet. What you need to be doing is building your contact list and nurturing those people and showing them what you're capable of, building that relationship. It's your social media. It's doing things like I'm doing right now where I'm hopping on for free and delivering some tips and giving you some value. So I'm not going to ask you to buy anything from me today. Now, if you want to, you can, but I'm not in any kind of promotion. And what I see people doing is they might build the list and then they don't talk to those people and then they start selling. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Or even if you are talking to those people, but it's in a very non-connective human way, it's not going to work either. So that's the first one, is you got to nurture your audience. You can't just sell to them. The second mistake is not respecting people's no. Ugh, this one drives me nuts. Okay, let me tell you my example of this. I was at a free 3-day conference a few years ago. Now, yes, it was free. So I, knew that there was going to be selling from the stage, and that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. And on, I think, day 2 or 3, they went into a sales pitch for a product that was an awesome product. It was pricey. I don't remember what it was, because pricey to me then is not the same as pricey to me now, but it was pricey. And it was very compelling. It was a very compelling offer. You know, those NLP'd, like they get inside your mind, and it was like, this is a great offer. And then he said, okay, go buy it now. It's going, time's going to run out. Go to the back of the room and buy the product. And so some people went up and bought the product, but apparently not as many as he was happy with. So the speaker basically said, he got angry with us as an audience and told us that earlier in the day, we had told him that we all wanted to have financial freedom. And that if this product was going to help us to have financial freedom and we're not buying it, then we are out of integrity for saying we want the goal and not buying the product. He told me I have no integrity because I want this goal, yet I'm not willing to buy his product. That was the most disgusting sales tactic I have ever seen. And what that does to me is it preys on people who have low self-esteem, who are ignorant about what's happening. So maybe they just don't understand the sales tactic. You're not selling to educated people when you do that. You're selling to people who are confused and easy to manipulate, essentially. And I don't believe the people I think the people I talk to, you guys here, are smart, educated, wise people. And I would never disrespect your intelligence by telling you, hi, yes, it was very disrespectful, by telling you you're out of integrity because you're not buying the sales page kit. You have to honor people's ability to say no. So the other one with this is the one that Jenny had given on my post and said, a salesperson told her, if you were serious about your business, you would beg, borrow, or steal money to make this investment in me. You wouldn't have to think about it or talk to your wife. What's with the hesitation? So I had the same thing on that sales call where she was basically like, you have to decide now. And I'm like, I can't decide now. That is not how I make money decisions. And she insulted me and basically said, well, some people make this decision and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm telling you, this is my boundary and you're not respecting it. And so you are dead to me. I'm a Scorpio. You're dead to me. So that's the second one, is not respecting people's no. So one of my favorite things about teaching sales calls is I teach that you're just presenting your offer. You're giving people a reason to buy now. And if they say they need to wait or they say later, you say, that's okay. Here's the reason why, the offer is going to end. I'm going to book up. The bonus will end. The price discount's going to end if you don't do it today, but that's totally up to you. And when you give them that power, you're showing them respect. Wow, really basic principle here. But I know that none of you are making this mistake. And so this is a big one that turns people off, and people who are selling that way are making a lot of money in a really out of integrity way, I believe. So you're not doing that, which means you're not going to be turning people off in that way. So that's number 2, is not respecting the client's no response. It's the door-to-door salesman who won't go away, right? Number three, and this number 3 really kind of summarizes it all. So the third mistake, and this is one that I think a lot of you might be making, and even I sometimes might be making. This is the one that just, it determines the fine line between, oh my God, give me your money, I love your offer, and ew, you're just out in it for you, stop selling to me. Yes, Laura says the short-term game leading, can't speak. Short-term gain leading to long-term negative impact. Yes. Insult me today, I might purchase your thing, but once I get my wits about me, I'm going to want a refund and tell everyone how terrible of an experience it was. Okay, so number 3 is the fine line of the second that I think you're more in it for you than you're in it for me, I don't want to buy from you. Okay, so this is the tricky one. This is the one where I teach in the sales page kit and the launch copy kit and yay for clients. This is where it's all about the client. It's all about what they want. So let me give you a little mini master class on that. Everything you create, Instagram, everything you create, everybody on Facebook, is for your clients. You're creating things that they want. It's for them. They do not give two flying fucks. They don't give two flying fucks what you want. Now, they want you to be happy. They want you to, they don't want you to be miserable, but they really don't care. They really don't care what you want. They care about their problem. And so the second that you make me think that you're worried more about you making money than me getting my result, I am out. And that's the one people saying, the second I feel like I'm being sold to, I shut down. It's the second that I feel like you're acting in your own interest and not my interest, I'm out. So every time you're selling, every time you get on a sales call, it needs to be about asking people questions and listening. It needs to be about offering solutions to people's problems that they already have. It needs to be about just showing people what you've created for them and listening to them and being a good human being. So as long as you're doing that, then you're gonna be fine. So I'm gonna just summarize those 3 mistakes again. So the 3 mistakes are: number 1, coming on too strong, too fast. Number 2, not respecting when people tell you no. And number 3, making people think that you care more about making money than helping them. So those are the really careful boundaries that you don't want to cross. Pretty much every single ick factor in selling comes down to crossing one of those boundaries. So that's that. All right, so my challenge for you is that I want you to go out there and I want you to get into the mindset of your business is helping people, as long as that's true, right? So your business is helping people. You're helping people to create results and impact in their life and positive changes in their life. And so all you're doing when you're quote unquote selling is you are positioning your offer, you are communicating your offer to those people and just telling them about it and giving them an opportunity to join you. And they're allowed to say no. And that takes all the pressure off. It takes all the pressure off of having to come up with tactics and manipulations and psychological devices. And you don't have to do any of that. You just have to tell people that you understand them, that you hear them, and that you have a solution that will help them to get the results. That's it. Okay, so go out there, start making some more money. That's my challenge to you. I've got to get these women entrepreneurs. We've got to be making more money, guys. All the statistics are saying more and more female entrepreneurs are starting businesses, yet female entrepreneurs are making less money. They have smaller income goals. And it's great we want to make an impact, but a lot of us are not making an impact because we're afraid of selling. And people have to pay you in order to get the results. That's how it works. I have a Facebook Live on that. If you scroll down the page, we talked all about, can you charge high prices if you're trying to help people and you want to serve people? Are those 2 things out of alignment? So if you feel a little icky about that, I want you to go watch that Facebook Live after this. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me.